Hey my friend, if you want to step up your mixing game from stock plugins only to third-party plugins, you might want to check out this video, because here I break down my top 10 favorite plugins that I actually use, that I have on my computer, and I'm going to explain how I use them and how well they work. And you definitely want to stay put for the two last plugins that I'm going to show you, because those are not so much talked about as they deserve, so stick around for that. Let's go in with the plugins. Number 10, and this is the TDR Nova from Tokyo Dawn Labs, and this is basically a workhorse EQ with all the features that you'd expect from an EQ. It also has a dynamic section, it has a dry wet knob, and it basically have all the things that you would expect from any stock vanilla style of EQ, but it has a dynamic section, which is really valuable. And considering it's a free EQ, this is really powerful, really powerful. You can be used as a de-esser for mastering purposes if you want to make subtle cuts using just the dynamic section here. I have it on number 10 because I never use it anymore. I now have the Pro Q3 from FabFilter, and there's nothing here that the Pro Q3 can't do that I know of, at least. Of course, it's $200, and the difference is mainly that it's faster to use. The Pro Q3 has a slightly better interface and some options that's not here when it comes to, for example, oversampling and such. There's some presets here, and it's generally a plugin that you could shell out at least $50 for. I think it's worth, but they give it out for free, and they are cool. Tokyo Dawn also has some other plugins as well. I'll just show you in my folder here. Let's see. They have, because I have their other free stuff, they have Contentikov and Molotech, which are two different compressors, and they also have something called a Slick EQ. I'll just pull them up just to show you. This is a quite standard compressor, and then you have something that is more of a color compressor, looks like this. And then you have the Slick EQ, which is also an EQ, which is a more colorful EQ, like so. Then on number 9, we have the Fresh Air from Slate Digital. I wasn't aware that this was a free plugin until after I quit my subscription to Slate, to the all-in bundle. And this basically boosts the highs and the mids in a very natural and pleasing way. I tend to not use this as often. That's why it's number 9. And the reason is because I often use multiband compressor or a saturator plugin, such as the Decapitator or the Saturn from FabFilter. But this definitely has its uses when you want to brighten something up or want to give a track or a sound more presence in the mix. So I really, you should really consider trying out this tool right here. Here are some hints in the presets on how to use it. There are some use cases definitely for vocals, for the mix bus, for snares, and so on. Percussion and yeah. So there are mainly 2 controls. You can choose to link them or not. And there's a bypass button, which is really practical, and you can trim down. When you raise volume here, you get increased volume going out of the plugin, and use the trim knob to just adjust so that you have the same in and out. It's a good plugin, really recommended, and it's free, of course. Next up, we have the Muke Junior, and that's from Klanghelm. I've talked about this before, and it's because I really like it. It's number 8 on my list, and the reason why is I use other compressors now. I use some Universal Audio. I use some, mainly Universal Audio plugins will mainly replace this one. But it's a basic Varimute compressor with one knob and a makeup gain. So the compressor is fixed. The attack can be fast or slow or set to auto, which is source dependent. So a colorful compressor, quite slow moving. It's not a fast compressor, but more to even things out. It's suitable on the mix bus and on vocals. I think this sounds great. Okay, next up, we have the Valhalla Freak Echo. Everybody talks about the Valhalla Supermassive, but I would like to enhance this one because this is a really exciting plugin. It's a basic echo plugin, but it has some really interesting, cool features with this shift knob right here in the middle. So you can tweak the taste, you can sync the delay, or you can have it free running. And like this, basic low cut, high cut filter and a feedback knob, and it's really simple and minimalistic. And I like to use this from time to time when I just want some simple delay going on with some character using the shift knob here. So this is a great plugin. Can be used for basically anything that needs some delay. Okay, next up. It's the Platoon Studio free offerings, and they have actually, I just pulled up two right here. So one is another delay again, and this is the Platoon Studio take on delays. There's a paid version that is more advanced, but this one gives you a lot. It gives you the basic delay duties, some bright and darkness knobs, which basically is the high and low cut filter, but in a slightly different manner. They have a drive knob, which turns up the saturation, so you have some coloring going on, and some width control here as well. So what the Freak Echo doesn't have, this one has. So if you have both, you're lucky, and of course both are free. And here you have a reverb plugin. Here's some high pass filtering going on, quite good for basic reverb use. So if you're tired of your stock reverb in your DAW, try out this one. I don't think you will be disappointed. Say that there's no such thing as a free lunch, and I completely agree with that. When it comes to free plugins, they're actually a part of any plugin company's marketing, and the same as free trials, 14 or 30-day free trials. It's pretty normal, and that's part of the marketing, that where you can try out before you buy, or when it comes to the case of free plugins such as the TDR Nova, such as the Klanghelm, and so on, they use free plugins to get you in the door, being able also to promote to you whenever there's a new plugin or offer or whatever. And I like that model because you get a lot of benefits from it, and then you can always choose not to use that company's plugins. But I've many times come to like a plugin company because of them offering me something free, and then I down the line would consider buying stuff. And a big example of this is Reason, Propellerhead Reason, or what is it called, Reason Studios now. Back in the day, I had a pirate copy of the Reason, a cracked version, and I used that for some years. And then when Reason came up to a new version, and I really liked their company, I liked their vision, I liked how they ran things, I ended up buying into the Reason universe. So I spent my hard-earned cash and just got it all aboard on the Reason. And and there's also where I started to use third-party plugins through the Reason REs. So that was my entry point to the deep rabbit hole of plugins. Now, if you like this video so far, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and hit the bell button. And who knows where the algorithm will take this channel next. Okay, let's move on. This is the stereo imager from iZotope. I have this as part of the iZotope Ozone bundle, but it's to be had for free as well. Just a small caveat here, the free version might not be this advanced. Let me know in the comments if that's the case. But anyways, you get basic imaging duties done with this thing. And I remember, because I used the free one some years back, and it was quite a lot more simple. It wasn't multiband, for example, which this one is, but you had the basic imager function. I tend to go slowly on this one. I can use this to beef up a vocal, for example. If there's a background vocal that only has one track, for example, I can use this to make it more to widen it up. But I seldom use this on the mix bus or for mastering purposes, because I think it's it can be a bit heavy-handed. But this version here with multiband is safe, in my opinion, to use also on the mix bus. So because you have a lot of control right here, using more bands and such, so you can really dial your imaging in without affecting, for example, the bass, which is often a problem. Number 4. The blindfold EQ. I've talked about this before. I love it. There's no numbers here, so it's It's all tweaking and creativity. You have this analog button here, which you can engage or disengage depending on how clean you want it. There's a soft clip function as well, and an output knob, so you can adjust up or down depending on how much you've cut or boosted in your EQing. And it's a great learning tool for training your ears. There's no visual feedback in terms of frequencies and hertz and everything, so I like that about this EQ, and it sounds great as well. Number 3 is the Softube saturation knob, and this has become better over the years. This was the first free plugin that I downloaded back in the days when it was a RE. It was only this right here, but what you have on the sides here is input and output controls, which is really practical depending on how much saturation you're giving the signal. And you have 3 types. You have the keep high function, which basically leaves the high end of the signal untouched, and then you have the neutral, which touches everything, and then you have keep low, lets the bass play without being distorted or saturated, as you can say. I actually use this plugin from time to time when I want some simple saturation going on without too many knobs. I just pull up this one, and it's fast to use, and 90% of the cases I get good results, in my opinion, with the Softube saturation. Then comes number 2, and this is a bit special, as I promised in the beginning, and this is the kilohertz bundle. So I just pulled up the tape stop plugin here because this is one that I tend to reach out to whenever I need this tape stop effect. I use this one. It's simple and plain, and here you can look here, you get all these plugins: free band EQ, bit crush, channel mixer, chorus, comb filter, compressor, everything. All the plugins here are quite basic, but you get you get everything. Special effects such as pitch shifter, reverser, ring modulator, transgate, transient shaper. You get a transient shaper, for crying out loud. This is a bundle that packs so much value that it's almost unbelievable that they are giving this away. You should have it on your computer because here you always find something that you need. If you need some basic flanging, you'll get it. Some basic filter, you get it. Some stereo spread, you'll get it. So it has everything, and it's free. It's amazing. I love you, kilohertz. And then number 1, and this is the cream of the crop, and here I can just pull up several plugins, and let me just explain. Look at these beautiful babies. Look at this, Arturia, IK Multimedia. Now the case here is that all of these plugins, they cost money. So I gave $50 for this clipper right here. But what I found out was that a couple of weeks later, after my purchase, it was free. And they have campaigns from time to time where they have free plugin offerings. I can pull up even one more. It's from Universal Audio, and it's the LA2A from Universal Audio. The X version, which is not dependent on the hardware. I think it's like a $200 plugin. So this is the LA2A. This is the classic clipper. From time to time for free. The RevPlate 140. This is a really good reverb plugin from Arturia, and I had this for free. I know that it costs money now, but from time to time, many plugin companies have free offerings for their paid stuff. And I don't think that's so much talked about when discussing free plugins, that actually a lot of paid plugins are free as well from time to time. And don't forget to download my free mixing guide. The link is in the description. Go to subphotic.com/mixing and get it there. And if you're interested in more videos about plugin reviews, check out one of these videos, and I can't wait to see you there. Peace!